and welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're reacting to New York City FC versus Toronto FC, MLS 2026 Week 18, the first match of the second half for Toronto FC. And I think NYCFC's halfway match, or just over halfway match as well. Yep, both are 18 matches. St. Louis plays their 18th match on later tomorrow, but RSL will be 17. So we're just going with Week 18. Either way, starting 11s are as follows. For NYCFC, in goal, we have Matt Freese. Back four, Tavon Gray, Thiago Martins, James Sands, and Cavallo. The midfield, number 6, Jonathan Shore. The midfield four, Agustin Ojeda, Andres Pereira. We have Fernandez. We have Benny Traore and Talish Magno. For Toronto FC, in goal, we have Luka Gavrin. The back four, Kobe Franklin, Walker Zimmerman, Jackson Gilman, Richie Larea, Dorsch, Jonathan Osorio. We're playing Dorsch over Coelho. Really? Okay, that's just stupid. Midfield 3, Theo Corbianu, Jordi Mihailovic, Daniel Shallowy, and Josh Sargent. How we doing, Dillon? How we doing? Friday night game. How we doing, Angus? How we doing? How we doing, Rory? How we doing, Mile High? Thank you very much. So that's what we got for this starting 11. We're starting Dorsch over Coelho. TFC is going to win. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're going to get our shit rocked. And I hope we do, frankly. It's better for us to get our shit rocked and Fraser to get fired than for us to win and extend his stay any longer. Here's my statement. We win, we lose, call the Pirate. We win, still call the Pirate. That's my statement. That's my statement. Because if we win, it ain't going to be because of Fraser. Let me tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. If we lose, it's because of Fraser. FIFA scraps the private equity sell-off. The boycott worked. It didn't even get to a vote. Lol. Matt Freese in goal. Cavallo, Sands, Martins, Gray, Shore. I mean, for a team so loaded with injuries, it doesn't look like one. Traore, Fernandez, Pereira, Ojeda, Talish Magno. For people who are saying, oh, there's so many injuries on NYCFC's lineup, it doesn't look like it. Their starting 11 still looks pretty strong. Their bench looks weak, but they still have Ilinic, Hannes Wolff, Malachi Jones. Really? What are you talking about loaded with injuries? They still look fine to me. Luka Gavrin in goal. The back four, Larea, Gilman, Zimmerman, Franklin, Dorsch, Osorio, Shallowy, Mihailovic, Corbianu, and up top, Sargent. Let's see how this goes. Delfines del Este have moved on to we'll play in the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup this fall. Just which group will they be in? They'll either be in Group A if they lose to Mount Pleasant or Group B if they beat Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant, the defending champion, has qualified their way back to the Caribbean Cup as well by winning their semifinal over Robin Hood. Question is will they be in as the runner-up or the champion? Fernandez, the player to watch for NYCFC. Yep, that tracks. Leads team with 12 goals this season. He is a very good player. He is a very good player. How we doing, Dillon? Daniel? Glad to hear you're there. You're about to watch a team get destroyed. Maybe revenge for the 2016 playoffs. Richie Larea, the player to watch for TFC. 2 goals and 2 assists in 12 matches this season. Had a pretty good performance at the All-Star game as well. Came in and helped shut it down. He wasn't the reason why things got a bit shaky at the end there. He was the reason why things didn't get completely off the rails. Well, him and Crepeau. But either way, NYCFC wearing their sky blue, Toronto wearing their red. For the first time in God knows how long, Toronto's wearing their red jerseys. It's been a while. Feels like it's been a while since Toronto's wore their red jerseys. And the center ref tonight is Remy Touchon. Yay. Not exactly one I was looking forward to seeing, but Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get this one going. Super chats are on. Would be pretty nice if we could grab a couple super chats or gifted memberships today, but before the month ends. But speaking of, let me set that up. Keep an eye on that. We'll have a month ahead for the Dynasty Stars tomorrow. I've been working on setting up. Took a little bit later for me to get on because I was trying to make most of the schedule. Get most of it made up so I could get it finished and written out after this game was over. There we go. But we're about to get ready for this match. Former Canucks owner looking to buy the Whitecaps. Good. I'll trust a Canucks owner to keep them in Vancouver. I'll trust that. But we're about ready to go in this match. TFC looking to somehow not get destroyed by NYCFC. And let's see. Tomorrow, of course, we have the Canada U20 match against Jamaica. Cincinnati versus San Jose tomorrow. Sadly enough, we're watching St. Louis versus RSL. Only match on Friday, let's go. Which perfectly opens up Saturday for Canada U20. Which, I mean, if Toronto played, it still probably would have been able for me to do both. But either way. Tomorrow, we got the Canada U20, Jamaica U20 group stage match. Canada has to win or draw to win their group, which means they'll play on Wednesday of next week. Wait, the 5th. Or something like that. In the knockout stage, or whatever. Or Tuesday, then Thursday or something, 2-5, something like that. They play the second day of the quarterfinals, which I have lined up to do if Canada ends up playing a quarterfinal, which they should. And then we got the St. Louis RSL match tomorrow as well at the later hour, 7 o'clock, 7:30. Thank you. Hello to Southern California. Thank you. Your season is still more fun than ours. It seems. It's not great, but it seems like it's more fun than ours. Even if I think Greg Vanney's a fraud. Unless you're Toronto for some reason. I don't know why they're playing this game on Friday. But, hey, you know what? I'm not complaining about it. That means I got to do a St. Louis game tomorrow and the Canada Olympic or the U20 pre-Olympico, pre-U20 World Cup game. So that's great. And the only thing that would save Toronto is if Robin Fraser got fired. So I'd rather be half dead than miraculously the right managerial appointment saves our ass. I won't even say Toronto's half dead. I'd say they're mostly dead. There's like one heartbeat per minute. It's like beep, beep, beep. Like they're only not dead because it's beep, beep, beep. Basically, the right manager, called a pirate, is like the defibrillator that makes the heart start beating again. But hopefully there's no other damage. It's just the heart wasn't beating, except for one beat a minute. Edvin Jurasevich, the VAR referee, hopefully. Possibly. Because the only way we make the playoffs is if we win. If you have a manager who could win you 10 out of the last 14 matches, or so to speak, and probably not lose the other 4, or at least draw 2 or 3 of the other 4. You probably only can lose once or twice, especially playoffs where you want to actually do something. I mean, I guess we could make the playoffs and be a wild card team and basically be a cannon fodder if we probably win 10 out of 14. I know we still have 16 left, but either way, we're off 0-0. You win out. That's what, 40-something points? You add that to the 16 points? I mean, that's still 50-something points, 58 points. That's pretty good. That's top 4 level, isn't it? Because Giovinco was the reason we won. Look at how, here's my explanation. Look at how many players you think are good that you have. Look at Ricky Puig. When Ricky Puig plays, you want an MLS Cup. Ricky Puig carried you to the playoffs one year too, in 2022, I think, as well. When you have Ricky, you do good things. Well, that's you at your best. Without Ricky, y'all haven't made the playoffs. Y'all have done nothing. Even with the good players around him, like a Gabriel Peck, who had just left, Joseph Painsil. Losing Dejan wasn't good. I'll agree with that. João Klaus, I think he's an amazing player. I love João Klaus, of course. St. Louis, of course. I think João Klaus is an amazing player. Nascimento never was that good. But it's the same thing with Toronto. Just Giovinco never blew out his knee for 2 straight years, so we could never test that theory. When we had our weak year in 2018, post-Champions Cup, everybody else got hurt, but Oso and Seba. Seba carried us to – the reason why there was a belief we could make the playoffs and backdoor our way in is because Seba never got hurt. My point is Greg Vanney is not a tactician. He's a garbage manager who's lucky he has a Messi-like number 10 on his team. When he has a Messi-like number 10, like Pozuelo, an MVP player, Giovinco, one of the best MLS players of all time, and Ricky Puig, who is awesome, his teams do well. He needs that number 10. But when he does not have that number 10, his team is a joke. You've seen it. You've seen it. You can't tell me I'm lying. When we rotate without Seba or Pozuelo, how bad were we? We were very bad. Those were 1-game sample sizes, but those were very bad games. I watched them all, and I've seen what he's done in LA without Ricky. You can't tell me I'm lying. When you're right, you're right. Exactly. True. I miss Markey too, to be honest. Markey, I miss him too, to be fair, off of Toronto. I think Markey was always a low-key good player. I know it's Mark. I can't stop calling him Markey because when he was here, it was Markey. So that's what I'm used to. It's hard. It's hard not to. I get he changed it, but it's hard not to. Well, I think maybe he changed it that like last year. He started flipping towards Mark, but it's hard. It's hard. There's like 6 years of me calling him Marky or whatever. But either way, it's hard. I don't know. Either way. Fourth minute, 0-0. But I miss him too, to be real. Very underrated player, in my opinion. Come on, City, the one time I hope you have a bad game. Well, don't worry, we'll have a bad game. Ball crossed in, header. Why? I still like Klaus. It's not exactly, as far as I could tell, maybe I'm wrong, it wasn't exactly his fault that he left St. Louis. I feel like they got rid of him. They pushed him out the door. And besides, the way that the club started, he's still a part of their history. The scoring streak that he had, I feel like that's harsh. I feel like that's harsh. Unless there's something I don't know. Good for y'all. It's out for a goal kick. When you're right, you're right. Exactly. How we doing, son? So this channel only on principle. Well, thank you. Same thing. Honestly, I can agree with that with TFC. That was poor. Nice back pass by Larea. Rare Larea L. Rare Larea L. This is why you don't back pass, by the way. If the power was called, that would be $5 into the penalty kick. Gavin has it. Wait, what? How behind am I? Jesus Christ. Well. Oh, cool. Playing forward. You know, every time I put a player's name on my jersey, they get hurt. So it's not like they get, well, they probably do end up leaving, but they also get hurt. And they don't be as good as they used to. And Larea brings down the guy. It's a penalty for NYCFC. 6 minutes in. Yellow card for Richie. Well, Richie's having a stinker. Penalty. I'd say NYCFC. They're going to whip our ass. They're already all over us like what on rice. Oh, great. Spoilers. Daniel's there. Daniel's there, so I guess there is a little bit behind. A little bit behind. I mean, yeah. Over the top. I don't know. Maybe you could call that offside, but he does pull him down in the box. Question is, was the pass offside? It looks like it was flying in there before he made the run, though, so I think he's on. I think he's on, personally. Toronto, I guess, think it's offside, and yeah, Toronto thinks it's offside. I think that's what they're mad about. Fernandez to take the penalty. We'll see if they check it on VAR. They won't. Fernandez to take the penalty for NYCFC to make it an early 1-0 lead. Walk back. Just take the damn thing. Let him take the damn thing. Of course it was. Fernandez to take. So I'm behind by 30 seconds just because I'm not there. Okay. Take it. Yep. Fernandez versus Gavrin. Shot, goal. Easy as you like. Gavrin goes the right way, but Fernandez puts it away. That's 1-0. 9th minute. 1-0 to NYCFC. And that starts the ass kicking. How much more are we going to get? Pile it on, boys. Pile it on. Pile it on. Well, the bright side, that was never not going to be a goal, but bright side, pile it on. And of course, 1-0, perfect penalty. Easy as you like. Toronto had momentum. That doesn't. We had all the momentum? Really? Lies. I thought they'd been all over us. 2 big mistakes by Richie Larreyes put Toronto behind the 8 ball. Uncharacteristically. Do you think MLS would get better now that Don Garber is stepping down as a commissioner? Well, the question is are these commissioners chosen by him, or were these are they his puppets? Are they his puppets, or are they just new faces that actually might have their own ideas? If they're new faces that might have their own ideas, I'll give them a chance. I'll give either of them a chance. Whether that be Larry Berg or Nathanson, I'll give either of them a chance. But if they are Don Garber's puppets, and he said, I want these guys for you to vote against or behind or between these guys, and they will follow my heed, I do not want them. I want them to be their own man. They might be shit. They might end up being shit. But I want them to come out and say, whether it's Larry Berg or Nathanson, I am my own man. We have ideas to be better. We have ideas to grow. Who do you support? New to the channel. Who do you think? Toronto FC. And Canada and Italy. But club-wise, TFC. St. Louis is my second favorite team, which is why I'm doing that game tomorrow. But I was always like, if St. Louis got a team, they would be my second favorite. And they do slot in there. And we'll be live for their game tomorrow. With the worst manager in the league. I know. Call the Pirate. Fire this bastard. I need a couple more. NYCFC and Juventus. I'm actually not that mad about the NYCFC part. I don't have any hatred for y'all, but Juve merda. Juve merda. Forza Napoli. Forza Napoli. Yellow card to Talish Magno. I've never really had any hatred for NYCFC. I really don't. I do make jokes about the baseball stadium. Who doesn't? But compared to Man City, I don't really hate Melbourne either, to be honest. I just hate Man City. I guess in MLS, the good thing about the salary cap is NYCFC. You can cheat the salary cap. They just haven't let NYCFC do it. Like, I don't know, Miami and the old David Beckham Galaxy. Ball crossed in. That's out for a goal kick. So, hey, at least NYCFC hadn't cheated here. No, they destroy it too. They're making UFC into slop. Power slap is stupid. Zuffa boxing is, well, it is what it is. And they're ruining WWE. They would ruin MLS too. I've never thought Garber was ruining, or at least he cares about it, you know, and we'll see what happens with this Nathanson guy or Larry Berg, but, you know, we'll see what happens with them, but TKO would ruin MLS. Leave that alone, please. Chicago Fire and USA. Okay. Must be really happy about Lewandowski. I call it like I see it. I watch this team no matter what. I watch it so you don't have to. Also, because the Pirate hasn't been called yet. Y'all, MLSE, are a bunch of idiots. But I watch it so you don't have to. See, I had much more fun during the World Cup. I didn't have to watch these guys play and torture me for 90 minutes every 3 days. It's been torture for about, I don't know, especially 4 years now. But even 2021 wasn't that bad, all things considered. There were still moments. Honestly, ever since 2022, watching TFC has been torture. There was a little bit of torture in 2021, but It wasn't complete and utter torture. It maybe got a little bit better in 2024 when Herdman was there. Got a little bit better. And then it became torture once again once the drone shit came out. But I just call it like I see it. I feel you. Same with my Galaxy. 2024 was a fluke. We had 4 DPs in that team. At least you won the cup. And I don't think 2023 was that bad of an MLS season in general. I mean, yeah, Toronto was pain, but watching St. Louis play in 2023 was pretty fun. Well, until the Kansas City playoff series. But, hey, at least St. Louis made the playoffs in their inaugural year. The worst part about it is 24 and 25 for St. Louis and Toronto were both shit. This year, actually, St. Louis looks like they're getting really hot right now. I think they might make the playoffs. I really do. Which we'll take that. If Toronto don't make the playoffs, we'll take a St. Louis playoff run. We'll take a St. Louis playoff run. No question. We'll take it. Well, guess what? Buffon also played for the Italian national team. And he won a World Cup with Italy. I hate the board of Juventus. I hate Agnelli. You know, I hate the board. The fact they're cheats. The problem is, I love Chiellini because he played for the national team. Bonucci, I like. I wouldn't say love. But Bonucci, when he played for Italy as a national team player, okay, I'd say like. I love Chiellini. I love Buffon. Del Piero, he was just too good of a player, let's be real. I hate what Juve stands for. Hell, I've always been more of a fan of Cristiano than Messi, even though I do admit Messi is the GOAT. I hate it when Cristiano played there, but it's kind of like Davies at Bayern. I still wanted Cristiano to do really well. So, I mean, there are players who've worn that shirt. Sebastian Giovinco was a Juve player who came to Toronto. I thought he was a good player back then before he came to Toronto, and I was so happy he came to Toronto. But he's Juve, and he basically still does things for the Juve camps in Toronto. He still has Juve in his heart. So that's him, you know, and that's for him to do, you know. So there are players who've worn that shirt that mostly because of what they did for the national team or just they were awesome players. I can admit if a player's good, you know, 1-0. Pirlo, Fernandez is an awesome player. Juve legend. But Messi is the GOAT. Even if it got a lot more cloudy and negative towards him in Argentina during the World Cup, Messi's still the GOAT over Cristiano. But I'm still more of a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, and I've always been that way. Rest in peace, Franco Baresi. Yes, sad to see he passed away. Losing a legend like him hurts. I'm not saying I'm that old, but losing a legend like him hurts. And it just shows we're getting closer and closer to us losing the legends that I grew up with in the next 15, 20 years, or if there's a tragedy like a Kobe, it can happen. You don't know when, to be honest. And it sucks or at least really early on. I feel like I'm getting old. I feel like an unk. I don't know. Greatest defense in football, Maldini, Baresi, Cannavaro, and Buffon. I agree. I miss when Italian football had the best defenses. Or the best anything for that matter. But And you know what sucks? I think Cannavaro at his age would still be a better defender than half the back line Italy has right now. He's still in good shape. Look at him. You definitely could look at him. He was coaching Uzbekistan at the World Cup. Fabio Cannavaro would still be better than most of that Italian defense, in my book. To be honest, right now. Dude's still in good shape. I'm sure he still has it. I'm going through a quarter life crisis. Not that bad, but you know, the fact that the next time a men's World Cup ball is going to be kicked, I'm going to be 30. Well, who even knows if it's a World Cup because of this FIFA bullshit? But the next time a World Championship ball on the men's side is kicked, I will be 30 years old. You're telling me I shouldn't feel old? 20th minute. Like, I still have a youthful energy about me, and I still... That's a neurodivergence, by the way. Probably. And the fact that I sort of grew up more of a 90s kid, even though I was born 2 weeks into 2000, 2.5 weeks into 2000, I was able to choose how I wanted to grow up. I choose to grow up more like a 90s kid than a 2000s kid. I'm a zillennial straight up, you know. I'm not a young Gen Z, and I'm not a millennial. I'm a zillennial. I'm right smack dab in the middle. I was able to experience the best of the 90s and the best of the early 2000s. Shit makes me feel old, you know, and I just want the simpler things as well, so, you know. I've always felt like my mental age was higher than my physical age. I've always felt that way. So it's whatever. I mean, here's the problem. Yes, I've been paying attention, at least on my own time, to the youth teams in Italy. Here's the problem. They won't get played in the Serie A, which basically means nothing. So what they're doing in the U20 and U17 Euros and stuff like that, it means nothing. And it's been like this for a good couple of years, where there's players that Canada or Italy does well in the U17 and the U20 level, and these players never get a chance in Serie A or for the national team. They never do. And that's the problem. Like, I'm glad Pio Esposito's getting a chance. I'm surprised he is. You know? Like, that's a bad look. That Pio Esposito deserves a chance, and he's been knocking it out of the park. But the fact that I'm surprised he got a chance, that's just a bad look. That's just the absolute bad look. Osorio down hurt, comes up from injury. FIFA Ultimate Team, Buffon, Maldini, and Baresi, and Cannavaro, the Messi, and Ronaldo, Neymar Prime. That'll cost about $1,000 in FIFA coins. NYCFC 2-1. Fair enough, yeah. I guess the fact that you identify with Gen X makes you cool. I guess that'll do. The fact you identify with Gen X is what makes you cool then. How we doing, Henry? NYCFC 2-1. Camarda, Komoto, and Cisse. Yeah, good players. Will they get a chance with Milan? No, they won't. I'll be surprised if one of them breaks out. Italian football is so bad at developing the youth. From the good place they're already at, pushing them forward, they don't seem to be able to do it, pushing them forward. That's what sucks. TFC worse than Montreal at the moment. They don't have any points yet. No, we're only a point ahead of Montreal, but Montreal plays New England, so they should lose that game. Oh, they're in Montreal, though. Definitely under a point per game. They might be ahead of us. Do you think Pulisic stays at Milan? No. No. He's going to leave Milan. I have a feeling. And honestly, I think MLS, he's going to be in MLS sooner rather than later. I'm going to be honest. World Cup made me, I'm going to say it. I've wanted to say it for a while. I haven't said it because of the Mexico performances. But Pulisic's a fraud. He's a fraud. He ain't that guy. I'm just going to say it. Pulisic ain't that guy. He's a fraud. He ain't that guy. He ain't Captain America. He's going to be in MLS sooner than we think. Whether that be Philly or New York, I'm not sure. But I'm not saying the next move he makes is MLS, but I'm going to say the move after that is. Whether that be after the 2030 World Cup, I'm not sure. He'll go to a more middle-level European club, I think. Not back to Dortmund. I don't see that happening. But maybe a Leipzig or a Villa sort of club. Sort of. And then he goes back to MLS. Maybe drops down to another rung before that. But, you know, Pulisic's no McKennie. Pulisic is weak in the head. Yes. I support Canada more than I do Italy. Always has been that way. But, of course, a long time of my life, Italy was the one making World Cups and Canada wasn't. And now it's flipped. So, if there was the dream match in Toronto and Bosnia didn't end up winning that playoff and we got Italy-Canada in Toronto, I would have rooted for Canada over Italy. Now, would I have been mad if Italy won? No. Unless Canada did completely something stupid, but I would have been more mad at Canada and not the result. But I would have wanted Canada to win. And I still want an Italy-Canada match at a World Cup. I do. It's not going to be the same without it being in Toronto, because if you know anything about Toronto, you know the Italian diaspora is big there. And it would have been a 50-50 stadium. I mean, it wasn't fully Canada against Bosnia. The Bosnians traveled big. But there is a big Bosnian diaspora in Toronto. Not as big as Italy or Portugal, but there is. I'd say the bigger Bosnian diaspora is Bevo Mill and St. Louis, but you know, it's never had to come to that, is my point, of like, who do I root for over the other? It's never came to that point because they've never, not competitively, as in not a meaningful match, played each other. Because Canada, men's-wise, just got good. Women's football, I rooted for Canada over Italy because Canada was the best team in the world for, well, not the best, but the second best team in the world for a while. Not anymore. But, I mean, anybody's better than Infantino, but honestly, I hope Victor Montagliani runs for FIFA president. I hope he runs. Because I don't think Victor Montagliani is corrupt as Gianni. And I don't see why you're going to go with the PSG owner who is a sports washer and all of that. I don't know why you're going to go that way. I feel like there's a corruption there, just not as bad as Blatter or Infantino. I'd rather go and I want to see a Canadian be president of FIFA. I do. I think Victor Montagliani is a very good president of CONCACAF. He was a very good president of Canada Soccer when he was there. I like Victor. I've always been positive towards Victor Montagliani. I think he'd be fair. I think he'd be a good FIFA president. I think he would be, at least to start off, very, very fair and not corrupt, but we'll see what power does to him. I don't think it would corrupt him, but I'd rather have Victor Montagliani as president of FIFA. The Italians from Italy would have traveled well as well. Well, I don't know how exactly. It's Carnival, Caravana. It's supposed to be a reference to that. What you're saying, it's kind of like the Spain 2022 away kid. Is that what you're saying? Okay. I can see what you're talking about if I just, yeah. Okay. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, Toronto don't even know what the hell they're doing. It's a good sign. It kind of does-ish. Sort of a little bit. Kind of feel like the 2022 Spain away kit. The baby blue away kit that they had. Haiti beat El Salvador at the U20 CONCACAF Championship. Game's getting boring. If we're going to lose, can we lose like 5-0? I mean, we are getting our ass kicked. I really believe that. I don't think we're doing that well, but the score kind of is flattering us. It depends on if MLSE makes the right call. I don't know if we'll ever have that again. I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen again. There's only certain, again, call the pirate and all that. But if they just keep going with a fire Fraser so we can hire Reynaldo Rueda or Phil Neville, it's the same shit we're going through now, just a different guy. I don't know. And I feel like MLSE, Keith Pelly and Jason have no idea what they're doing. And Seba, I can't say how much he's doing. I can't say how much he knows. I feel like that if he says something, they're not exactly listening to him. They just want him connected to the club, which I guess they've treated him better than D-Row, I guess. D-Row's just an ambassador. Seba has a front office role. What that is, I couldn't tell. I don't know what that entails. I wish they would listen to Seba more. That might actually be smart in my book. But, I feel like Seba would know more than some of these other guys do, and that's just facts. But, or maybe it's Fraser who doesn't listen to Seba, which kind of sucks because who was Fraser coaching? Oh, yeah, Seba was on the team when Fraser was here as an assistant with Fraud Vanny. Okay. I thought Casemiro was washed. I mean, he kind of is, but MLS probably makes him a little bit look better. I'm so amazed at the ineptness that is MLSE. I think we all are. Yeah. Gianni is a proper bag chaser. Yeah. That's the problem. What? That might get him fired. That might get him deposed, being a bag chaser. But he's very good at getting the money. He's very good at making money. He's very good at finding the money. If he was in the mafia, he'd be doing a damn good job. If he was the soldier kicking up to the Don and the capos, he'd be very good at that. He'd be very good at that. He'd be good at kicking up the money. Give me my damn envelope. Danhausen versus Dominic. I'm not hyped for that. Brock versus Oba, yes. I mean, I like Danhausen, but Toronto looking to bus park. Bus parking doesn't work when you're already down a goal. Here's the thing about Sargent. Toronto did used to have some ballers, even when they've been bad. But here's the thing about Sargent. He hasn't scored the goals yet. He scored 3. But I think Sargent is very good at drawing defenders to him and holding up the ball. If he could score 20 goals, here's also the problem. He was worth $25 million. He hasn't scored the goals that made him worth the money. But he does everything else right. He presses well. He pulls the defenders toward him. He opens space for Shallowy and Corbianu and the people on the wings and the 10. He does all that. So to say that I do want the striker to be able to do all the work, or do all of the work, not just score goals. If Cristiano wasn't scoring goals, he'd be a complete waste of time, is my point. Josh Sargent, yeah, he's not exactly scoring the goals you'd want him to for his price tag, especially in MLS. $25 million in MLS is like $100 million in Europe. Like, that's what you're at. At least until they get rid of the, well, even if they got rid of the cap structure, change the DPs and the TAM and the GAM. Getting a $25 million transfer fee for a guy in MLS, or spending that in MLS, is like spending $1 million or $100 million in Europe. He's got to score multiple. He's got to score 15, 20 goals all comps for me to think he's worth it. And that's just the bar. While also doing the work that he does. I need to see more goals, is my point. Or at least goal involvements. Toronto almost scored a Lucas Cabral goal. Shot. 0. And the U22 spots, I'm not sure. But you cannot trade for DP spots. So if we went 3 DP, 3 U22, I think it's 2 and 4, 3 and 3. We'd have 2 open spots for U22 players that are not against our salary budget, or maybe 1. But basically, full DP spots, we have 0 because Dorsch is a DP until we can buy him down in January. Yeah, that's what they did that. So basically, we can't go headhunting. We are stuck with the core that we have. Even if we can make some smaller signings in the summer, the big names, we're stuck with the core we have until January. Then we can buy Dorsch down, and then we can get a new DP. But for 6 months, we have 0 DP open spots. And the 22s, I think we have 1 opened. Because if we got Dorsch, we moved to 3 and 3. So I think we have an open U22 spot. I think. Which, yes, Napoli and Serie A. Which is why it hurt so bad when Insigne failed. Sell the team, sack Robin Fraser. I agree. In Toronto. I was always a Maurizio Sarri fan. I always loved Sarri ball. I still am a fan of Sarri. I still back him 100%. I feel like Chelsea did a bad job running him out of town. I feel like Juventus shouldn't have ran him out of town. Sarri's been screwed over multiple times. I've always been fair to Maurizio Sarri. I mean, he's a high attacking, high work rate manager, sort of similar to the way I think about football. So, bro, Toronto win a game every other month. Hey, we started pretty well. We haven't. Oh, by the way, if we lose or draw this game, Robin Fraser has the longest, tied for the longest. Was it tied or he does? Tied for the longest single manager winless run in TFC history. At least tied, if not actually has the record. I think, I don't know what, it either said tied or he leads. If we lose or draw this game, he'll have the longest winless run of all TFC managers. Either tied or will. I don't think it's worth $25 million. I feel like that was too much of a deal, but I guess, yeah. It's sad to hear Baresi passed. Legend. I just hope it wasn't painful. I hope he was peaceful. I hope it was peaceful and he had his family around him. I hope they're praying for him. I'm praying for his soul to safely make it to heaven. I hope everybody does that as well. I hope his family was around him. I hope they were all there for him. I hope it wasn't painful. That's all you really can say. Infantino isn't selling FIFA. Toronto's officially parked the bus. They're going forward. What do you mean officially parked the bus? 38th minute. It doesn't make sense when you're down 1-0 anyway. Lol. Lol. You love to see it. Rangers drew. You love to see it. You love to see it. Good job, Rags. You suck. Mon the boys. Come on, Celtic. Ooh, up the rock. Are we going to score today? Probably not. Derek Cornelius. Okay, I could have players that I want to do good and still not like Rangers in general. Like, I want Derek Cornelius not to look bad. But I ain't going to root for Rangers like I do a Bayern Munich. I don't like Bayern Munich, but I can find it in myself to root for him for Davies. Just like the Dallas Cowboys and Dak. I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but Dak Prescott went to Mississippi State, and he made us relevant. And he almost made us have an undefeated season, and we were number 1 in the college football playoff when it first launched because of Dak Prescott. I'm going to root for Dak Prescott no matter what. My love for Mississippi State is stronger than my hate for the Dallas Cowboys. My love for Canada is stronger than my hate for Bayern Munich. It is not stronger than my hate for Rangers. It is not stronger than my hate for Rangers. I love it. And Bellingham was there wearing a Birmingham kit. Yeah, I miss those days too. I don't know what's sadder. There's Inter Toronto in the CPL. Forge is in the GTA. Hamilton, the Golden Triangle, or Golden Horseshoe. Golden Triangle's Mississippi. Golden Horseshoe, which is really just the GTA, it counts. The extended GTA to most people, so we'll count Forge. TFC2, of course, is professional, even though it's their youth affiliate. AFC Toronto in the Northern Super League. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, it's League One Ontario clubs, and they don't even have that MASL club anymore, do they? Kevin Kelsey's available tomorrow. You have some crazy takes like the Pulisic one, but I'm glad I'm subbed. I'm not completely annoyed and intrigued. Well, at least the machinations of my mind make you intrigued. I do like to say I'm the Mike Leach of association football. I'm just not coaching yet. But, you know. And it hit the referee. Drop ball. I like to say, if you compared me to somebody when it comes to sports, I have a similar vibe to Mike Leach. Which I love that, so. Hail, dear old state, fight for that victory today. Never. I'm not going bandwagon Texas or A&M. Or Texas Tech. Okay, Texas Tech I have a soft spot for because of Mike Leach, even if they did screw him over. But they've been nicer to him and his family since Mike has passed. So And, of course, Crabtree. And, okay, I did sort of bandwagon Texas Tech when Mike Leach was there. When Crabtree and Wes Welker, and I've always been a fan of Mike Leach even before he went to state. I always loved Mike. Still do, even though he's passed. I'll always do. But Texas Tech, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of them, but I'm like Washington State and Texas Tech. I always want them to do good just because of the connection to Leach. Just because. But Mississippi State always. And I will bandwagon Notre Dame. I have a soft spot for Notre Dame, but I always have had a soft spot for Notre Dame. I'll still call them out on their bullshit like last year, though, but not playing a play. We did get a bowl game because of their bullshit, and then we almost injured our starting quarterback. Oh, my God. Hearts versus Aberdeen tomorrow. Just a regular Coca-Cola. I don't drink alcohol much of the time. I mean, if it's New Year's, I'll drink some Moscato, but other than that, straight edge 99% of the time. Let's go Argos. I agree. Lukasevich of the Toronto Blizzard hit a 470-yard field goal while the Blizzard Argos were training together at Exhibition Stadium. Oh, that's awesome. 70 yards. I mean, I'm glad the Patriots. Hey, if Borregales comes up to be a shit kicker, I got an idea. But the Patriots have a good kicker. So I think we're fine right now. But Haralahu has kind of struggled for the Argos, though. Well, maybe we could put Lukasevich on the Argos instead. Hey, everybody makes the playoffs but one team in the CFL now. I didn't say I liked it. 6 minutes of stoppage time. But it is what it is. But right now the Patriots have a good kicker, Borregales. So we're good. We're good. We're good. Well, secret. Funny. Mississippi State. Rooting for Mississippi State. That's pretty obvious. Who bandwagons Mississippi State? You're either from Mississippi or you went to Mississippi State. Well, okay, I guess there are reasons to bandwagon Mississippi State, but that's more because if you marry into a state family, especially on the woman's side, if a woman marries into a state family that isn't a state fan, she'll probably bandwagon state. But nobody point is, if it was Alabama, if I was rooting for Alabama, that don't tell you where I'm from. Anybody could bandwagon Alabama, but nobody bandwagons Mississippi State. You either went to state or you're from Mississippi and you chose state as your team and your family's always been state fans. I never went to state. My dad never went. Well, at least he never went for school, but he did spend a lot of time in Starkville growing up before he went into the Marines. So there you go. Maybe my kids will go to state. I don't know. Third time's a charm. My future kids might go to state. Third time's a charm. I don't know. But nobody bandwagons Mississippi State. You either went there, or your family has always been a state family. Nobody bandwagons that. It's not Alabama. But when the good days come, at least I've been there the whole time. In any sport. At least I've been there the whole time. Speaking of, we will do state games live this fall for college football, by the way, as we normally do. We'll do state games. Don't worry. '48th minute. Nice. Oh. Well, I'm sure he could probably still hit a 50-yarder at this age. Oh, yeah, you told me that. Yeah. Nice. I'm from LA. I hate USC. I love UCLA, but we have actual pro sports teams, so I still don't get the love for college football like the rest of the country. In the South, there's only a certain amount of teams. Most of these states in the Southeast, all they have is college football and college basketball. Mississippi don't have no pro teams. So I could choose whatever I wanted to root for because of where I was born. I could choose whatever I wanted to root for, and I fell in love with Toronto sports, and I root for Toronto. I basically adopted Toronto. Of course, St. Louis is what it is, second teams, but I also love the Atlanta Braves. But every Southern person who was born when TBS still showed the Atlanta Braves loved the Atlanta Braves. When Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, John Smoltz, that era, every Southern person loves the Atlanta Braves. Especially that era, because of that era, who were born in that era. Smoltz, Chipper, Andrew Jones, Rafael Furcal, Julio Franco. Wait, no. He did play for the Braves, though, didn't he? Brian McCann, David Justice, Steve Avery, Greg Maddux. I mean, the Southern accents are amazing. I have to agree. But most Southern, Southeastern states don't have pro teams, or if they do, they're shitty. Georgia only has the Atlanta Braves. Oh, wait, they do have the Falcons and the Hawks. Well, the Hawks are shit, and the Falcons are shit. And the only time the Falcons were in the national spotlight, well, what happened? 28-3. Yeah, I can see why you'd rather root for the Georgia Bulldogs. But you have the Atlanta Braves, though. The team of the 90s, the Atlanta Braves. Alabama only has Alabama and Auburn. Mississippi only has State and Ole Miss and Southern. And, well, Jackson State. They have a lot of HBCUs in Mississippi. One more minute of stoppage time. LSU, Louisiana does have the New Orleans Saints and the Pelicans, but the Saints won a Super Bowl. The Pelicans suck. 1-1 Toronto. Really? Huh. What did we do? Let's see what happened. Playing forward. Oh my, Sargent, horrible back pass. Sargent has it at his feet. It goes backwards. Shot, save, rebound, goal. Goal. Jordy Mihalovic scores the rebound. Horrible back pass from NYCFC, and Toronto ties the game right before the half. Lucky bastards. Lucky bastards. That's my line. Lucky bastards. He's at the game. I mean, that was pretty dumb. He's at the game. He's going to be more ahead than any of us because of the back. Or the bad goal to give up. Yeah, very bad goal. Yep, on TBS. Lucky bastards. I mean, they are. A goal's a goal. Yeah, but let's just... "1-1, we'll take it." Was lucky, though. Very lucky. Very dumb and very lucky. Very lucky for Toronto. They actually played through the play. Good job. You played through the play. NYCFC had a horrible back pass. Dumbass back pass. The guy. See what I mean? Sargent does the rest of the work. He just can't score. He does all the work. He just can't score. You see what I mean? That's exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I mean. He does all the work. The Jazz ought to send their name back to New Orleans. There's no Jazz in Salt Lake City. Halftime, 1-1. Honestly, I don't want the Jazz name back in New Orleans. They're not good enough for it. Pistol Pete would be rolling in his grave if the Jazz name was put on this New Orleans team. Honestly, I'm going to say it. After Katrina, I'm not saying move the Saints, but you know what? the Hornets did very well in OKC. What they should have done was this. They should have never messed with the Seattle Supersonics. What should have happened was the Hornets fully just moved to OKC and then became the Thunder. But who's to say the Thunder become what they are now? So I don't know if Thunder fans would take that. But AKA, my point being is this. The New Orleans Pelicans should not get the Jazz name back because Pistol Pete would be rolling in his grave. They're not good enough for that name. They're not good enough for that name. Never mess with the Vancouver Grizzlies. I agree with that. Honestly, I mean, I'm not mad Charlotte got the Hornets name back, but Pelicans just sounds, it fits. Pelicans doesn't really fit to me. And the New Orleans Pelicans suck. And they always have. They always have. I never thought the Benson family were that good of owners anyway. They just got lucky that Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis did a really good job with the Saints. And somehow it seems like the Saints have sort of built back with Tyler Shough. So, fine by me, I guess. But, I mean, I've always had a soft spot. I've always rooted for the Saints because they're basically the home team. Especially because, as I said, Delta and New Orleans, the Mississippi Delta and New Orleans are the same cultural vibe. Cajun, Creole, and the Mississippi Delta are all very similar. So, yeah, I mean, the Saints are a home team. The Saints have always been my second favorite team. They're the home team. I was happy when they won the Super Bowl, and I was happy when they were good, and I always wanted that Brady Breeze Super Bowl, and I still love the Saints. But the Saints have more meaning to me than the Pelicans. The Pelicans have never given me a reason to root for them. Now, if the Pelicans were good and the Raptors weren't, and the Pelicans made a playoff run, would I be happy for them? Would I root for it? Yeah, I would. If the Pelicans made a deep playoff run and they look like they could, I'd root for it. I would. I think push comes to shove, I would. But it's not like the Saints where the Saints feel like New Orleans. The Saints feel like home. The Pelicans really don't. But if push came to shove and the Pelicans made a deep playoff run and the Raptors weren't good, or the Raptors got eliminated early, or the Raptors just weren't playing them, yeah, I mean, I'd push comes to shove, I'd root for it. But I don't think that would ever happen. So, 2010 Super Bowl scandal. Don't care. I do not care. I do not care. I heard Tony Romo got arrested. Yeah. Sean Payton is the GOAT. I said Seattle shouldn't have been messed with. I said the Pelicans, I said the New Orleans Hornets should have fully moved to OKC. There should not be a team in New Orleans. Seattle should still be there. Vancouver should still be there. New Orleans should not have a team. OKC Thunder should have been what the Hornets were. The Hornets should have became the Thunder, not the Pelicans. And Charlotte should have their name back, which they haven't. So OKC should have given the Hornets name back to Charlotte when the New Orleans Pelicans did it, and then they become the Thunder. Or they just give it back when they fully get the team and then make themselves the Thunder, and then the Bobcats don't last for like 3 more years or whatever. But I never said Seattle should have a team in the NBA. Hell, Vancouver should have a team. Honestly, I agree. Beignets and a po' boy from the French Quarter. Because Drew Brees retired first, and his 5 years elapsed before Tom Brady's elapsed. Now, do I think they should have waited 5 years to induct Tom Brady? Hell no. Tom Brady is the GOAT. They should have inducted him instantly to the Hall of Fame. He should have been the one guy who said, you know what, we don't need 5 years. We'll just put him in. That's what they should have done. I believe that's what they should have done. Drew Brees, I love Drew Brees as much as I love Drew Brees. He ain't that guy. He had to wait 5 years. But Brady should have been in before Brees because the NFL should have been like, you know what? we all agreed Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's going to get in unanimously when his time comes. Maybe it's because nobody knew if he'd actually unretire and they were waiting maybe that's why they were waiting the 5 years, because nobody could trust Tom Brady. But he quickly made it obvious this was a real retirement comparatively to his first one. And I think when he did that, they should have just instantly put him in. And it was before August of 2022 or whatever. They should have just put him in. Or 23. They should have just put him in. They should have just put him in. I feel like we didn't need 5 years to wait to put Brady in there. But the good news is they will. The good news is they both come up on the Hall of Fame ballot the same year. So they probably will be. They probably will be. I kind of want to go to Canton for that one. I really do when that comes up. So in 2 years' time, I really want to go to Canton for that Hall of Fame. And I swear to God, here's what they should do for the preseason. The Hall of Fame game should be Patriots versus Bucks in Canton when Brady gets inducted. Hell, you could say Gronk's representing the Bucks and Brady's representing the Pats. There you go. Patriots, Bucks in Canton. And I would go to that game too. Because Gronk played for both and Brady played for both. But Brady's a Patriot. I don't care. And then you put Gronk representing the Bucks. Perfect. Because you have to do that, I guess. One of them has to represent the other, but Brady's a Patriot. Let Gronk represent the Bucks. Hall of Fame game, Patriots, Bucks. Has to be. Has to be. We'll take a short break. The halftime of the stats get this one going. It's 1-1. Toronto's lucky to be drawn. I still think NYCFC's been the better team, but they've made some bad mistakes. We'll take a short break at the half. Oh. Well, it is a baseball stadium. That's HR. It's a baseball stadium. With that being said, we'll take a short break. We'll be back for the stats of the half. Sit tight. Be back. We're back for the stats the half. Kelsey's available tomorrow. Oh, Mount Pleasant loses, not going to lie. Well, I mean, they did come through the Club Shield, so they did make it to the Central or the Caribbean Cup. So talk about the fact that they both made the Caribbean Cup. In the final, the runner-up and champion both make the Caribbean Cup. So Mount Pleasant's back in the Caribbean Cup as defending champions. They worked their way back. Now, I think Mount Pleasant will beat Delphines. I think they will win the Club Shield. I think they will, personally. But Caribbean Cup, the fact they had to play their way through the Shield makes me think that they're not going to be as strong as they were last year. So will they go back-to-back in the Caribbean Cup? I don't think so. And I think some of the teams that were weaker last year will be better, like a Cavalier. So we'll see what happens. But you might get your wish when we get to the club tournament or the club championship. But, yeah, not as locked on as Gronk or Brady. But with that being said, stats and a half. 48% possession to 52% possession. 3 shots to 7. 2 shots on goal to 3. 152 accurate passes, 82% to 162, 80%. 2 yellows to 2. 1 corner to 1. 3 shots to 7. 2 shots on goal to 3. We're on to the second half. We have 185 passes to 203, 82% pass accuracy to 80. 12 throws to 11. We have 1 offside to 1. 2 yellows to 2. 0 reds to 0. 6 fouls to 8. And 1-1 at the half. And right now, honestly, I think New York City, they started off better. They started off all over Toronto. The problem is NYCFC, once they scored their goal, they pulled back and parked the bus. And Toronto made them pay for a mistake that they made. And this game's tied when it really shouldn't be. I think Toronto, they had their chances, but they weren't great chances after going down 1. But at least the game's tied, so this one's going to be a painful loss, I bet. Let's see. Let's go to the CONCACAF website. Let's see. Caribbean Cup. There we go. Standings. Well, it depends. There we go. Okay. The runner-up goes to Group A. So if Mount Pleasant becomes the runner-up, that's the group of death. Cibao, Cavalier, Portmore, Salcedo. I think Group B is the group of death, whether you have the winner or runner-up of the Caribbean Shield in it. Group B. Group A only becomes a group of death if Mount Pleasant is the runner-up of the tournament, which means they be in Group A. Defense Force and Violette should finish top 2 in that group. And without Mount Pleasant in that group, that should still be the same, I think. And I think Defense Force would have the better chance of not being screwed over by the fact that Delphines ends up in there. Violette might fall under Delphines. I don't think Brokey and Sando will do better than them two, though. Group B is way too even. And Salcedo ain't bad. Portmore's pretty good. Cibao is Cibao and Cavalier's Cavalier. And you add Mount Pleasant to that group, somebody's going to miss out that you don't think should miss out. Group A is a little bit easier in my book. But we'll talk about that on Monday when we make our Caribbean Cup predictions. Head or wide, when we make the Caribbean Cup prediction video, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Monday. Do you think Delphines are the dark horse? No. I mean, is Violette a dark horse? Even if I think they finished top 2 in Group A? Yeah. Because I still don't think it's going to be hard for Violette to beat Cavalier or Cibao and then win a third-place match to make the Champions Cup. They'd have to beat one of them at least, if not both. To win the trophy, they have to beat both, pretty much. To go to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, they have to beat one. Whether that be second place or win the third place game. They have to beat one of them, pretty much, no matter what. I know Violette beat Austin, or Mount Pleasant, for that matter. I think if you're Violette and you do finish top 2, you would hope that Mount Pleasant is the runner. You somehow win the group, or Mount Pleasant wins Group B, and you are the runner-up of Group A. And then Defense Force wins the group, and then Sabauer Cavaliers in second place on the other side. You would hope that's the case if you're Violette. That's what you'd hope. You hope Mount Pleasant wins the Shield, ends up in Group B, and either wins the group while you are the runner-up of Group A, or you win Group A and they're the runner-up. That might be your easier ticket to at least making the final and at least getting the one win you need over 2 legs over with. So if you don't win the final, you're still in the Champions Cup, but you just lost the final. So, something to look into. I think there's an argument that even though Delphines has done well, I don't think playing forward, 49th minute. Over the top, cleared away by Toronto. Playing forward. Gilman passes it back. It was Jordy Mihalovic. Off the rebound. Oh my God. What was that? That was a choice, but at least it wasn't a penalty. Let's see if VAR takes a look at it and screws us again, like the past 2 games. Going forwards, Toronto, Osorio, down the middle to Sargent. Sargent makes the pass, and it's blocked off a defender's leg. I would have held on to that and kept running, but okay. That was a choice. I would have held on to it and kept running. I think he made a stupid choice to hold on to that ball. '51st minute. Well, okay. The final of the Shield or the final of the U20 Championship? I don't even know if I could watch the Shield final. So, I am doing the U20 Championship. Well, let me put it like this. I definitely am doing the U20 Championship final if Canada makes it. Shot wide. Do I think I'm going to do it if Canada doesn't make it? That's a 50-50. I might sub in Leagues Cup matches, which I think I'm going to say that on a month ahead for the Dynasty Stars. Is speaking of Super Chats are on, gift memberships are on. Let's see what happens. It'd be nice to get some before the end of the month. It'd be nice to get a Super Chat or a gifted memberships before the end of the month. Have a little bit of a run on them. Would be nice. With that being said, 51st minute. Workout Watch Live free. I don't know. I don't even know if Toronto's on TSN tonight. Ball crossed in. Apple TV is not free. Shorten. Score AO8. I guess Sun knows. I have Apple TV, so I have 3K under 4.5 goals. What's your thoughts? So far, you're going to be fine. I don't think there's 5 goals in this game, sadly. Corner for NYCFC. They might end up winning 3-1. I think either NYCFC wins 3-1 in the end, Toronto wins 2-1, or we get a 2-2 draw. But I don't think we're getting 5 goals, sadly. I want Fraser fired, so I'd rather have 5 goals. How we doing, Sean? It's 1-1 at the end of the second half. I think I got... If I watch the CFU Shield final, it's on my own time. Header. Shot. Save. Rebound. Cross. Blocked away. What are we doing? Shot wide. Goal kick. 53rd minute. I think NYCFC should win this match. I don't even really know if I want Toronto to win. I mean, as a fan, yeah, I would love Toronto to win, but I want Fraser fired. Yeah, TFC is doing better than I expected. They are doing better than I expected, shockingly enough. 54th minute. NYCFC should win, but I'm not sure. Toronto's doing better than I expected, but it's more because NYCFC has shot themselves in the foot. Free kick for 55th minute. Played over the top. Going to the Red Bulls game tomorrow in the supporters section. We're probably going to get cooked, but I'm just glad I'm going to a game. You know what? Thank you, Red Bulls, for your service. You're proving that Michael Bradley is a shit manager and we won't ever have to hire him. Thank you for your service. Well, okay, I still don't trust MLSE, but I think with the fans and, free kick for NYCFC. With the way it ended, with Bob and Michael in his last season and the fact he was getting booed, but they both were getting booed, you know what? I don't think they want. It's going to take a while for that wound to heal and Michael to be hired as a TFC manager. So thank you very much for taking the bullet for us and proving that Michael Bradley is a shitty manager. Thank you very much. The CFU Club Shield's on YouTube. But as I said, if I watch it, I'll be watching it on my own time. I think there's probably other stuff going on that day that I'd rather cover, whatever that be. James Sands, free kick, shot, header, shot, saved. Corner. It wasn't a goal. 1-1, 56th minute. Uno. Yeah, I agree. CFU way too low budget to stream live. And no Trinidadian team either. So. The locals are awful. We know this. That's true. Ball crossed in. Header. Yellow card. Or goal kick. Goal kick. Substitutions. Ojeda and Traore are off. Mudryk is back with Chelsea. I know. I don't know. I think I want to see Wolff is on. I think I want to see the Toronto Blue Jays. They're going to trade Gosman, I'm sure. They're going to trade their expirings. But I really hope the Blue Jays sign players with term. Jones and Wolff are on for Ojeda and Traore. I want the Jays to go for players with term that can make an impact now and maybe help flip this. I don't think we could still make a run to be the third wild card. We're going to have to win like 30 games of our last games, but that can be done. And then make a run in the playoffs out of nowhere. But we need to sign players that have term and can make an opportunity or make impact now, while trading guys like Gosman and maybe Bieber and Varsho. And I've always wanted Varsho gone anyway. Also, if we could fire John Schneider and hire Albert Pujols as our manager, that would work as well. That would work for me as well. So. Any prospect called up for your team? I mean, I hope Sean Keyes gets called up. I think Sean Keyes was really good when he showed up. Ball crossed in, saved. Almost a mistake by NYCFC. It stays in. Toronto attacking. NYCFC's really shot themselves in the foot. How what? Header on. YouTube is educating you. I mean, it is, but you definitely got on the weird side. Fernando's potential league MVP. Sadly enough, it's still going to be Messi. As always. Until Messi's gone, he might as well just hold that freaking title into his own arms. Gilman with a yellow card. This referee's throwing out yellow cards like hotcakes. Not happy with it. Not exactly happy with it. '61st minute. Predictions on the current game. I say, I'm not sure. Toronto's had their moments of almost are benefiting from another NYCFC shooting themselves in the foot moment. Toronto looks like they're almost getting run over either. I don't know what to say. 12 fouls and 9. I still think NYCFC are the better team. They've just made some really stupid mistakes. He's reffing like a douche. Playing forward. It's out for a throw. '63rd minute, Toronto throw-in. You could say Richie Laryea had 2 mistakes that led to the goal for NYCFC, so it's even. But we gave up a goal. Throw in. Plays forward. Oh. Good block, but there's all this room. Oh no. 64th minute. Going forward. NYCFC has the ball at their feet. Toronto has gotten back. Plays through. Top of the box. Talesh Magno. Gives it back. Tavon Gray. Tavon Gray. Hmm. 64th minute. Playing forward. Laryea crosses it, nothing there. Yeah, this referee's been very harsh. Sargent goes wide. That's not exactly where. See what I mean? Draws 2 defenders. Playing forward. Shallowy shot saved by Freeze. Damn, he couldn't drop it. Damn it. '67th minute. Good save for Freeze. Really good save. Playing forward. th minute. Playing forward. Over the top. Shallowy has the ball at his feet. Larea. Oh. Well, at least TFC's holding on so far for a draw. Still be under a point per game with this draw. If they win, they'll be over a point per game, just barely. With 19 points. Just under or just over a point per game, depending on the result. Doesn't really move the needle, but it's something. Playing forward. Wide. Goal kick for TFC. Fernandez just wide. Yep. Good shot. Yep. But he goes, well. Yeah, it does bounce out. So good. Good run. Substitution. Talish Magno is off for NYCFC. Coelho and Malik Henry coming on for TFC. Let's go. Talish Magno is off. th minute, 1-1. Substitutions. Or DeAndre Kerr. My bad. Dorsch for Coelho. DeAndre Kerr on for Sargent. My bad. It is DeAndre Kerr for Sargent. And Coelho on for Dorsch. Draw FC, can TFC do some? Also ran is Toronto FC's U20 guy out. Bostonberry? I don't think so. Let me see what we got over here. Oh, Derek Etienne Jr.'s on as well. We could have used Malik Henry, but okay. Okay, that was stupid. Either way. Bostonberry. Bostonberry is out. Yeah, he is. Sholajimo and Chukwu did come on for the U20s. in the second half in that game. Bostonberry came off hurt in the first game. Playing forward, TFC. Ball crossed in. Shot, goal! TFC! Offside! Shallowy was offside there. Bostonberry was injured. Until Bostonberry came off injured. Yep, the shoulder injury. Yep. Ball crossed in. Really offside? I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah, he was the shoulder injury. Yeah, dislocated shoulder. It was Derek Etienne Jr. That's what FOTMob said. FOTMob said Shola came on in the second half. That means he did come on. I would assume so, at least. I don't think FOTMob, even if playing forward. Run, DeAndre. Damn it. Back to freeze. In my book, against Honduras, and they couldn't have given anybody else a number 7. Derek was way off. Okay. So, even if they wrongly put him on the bench on their page, he came on, so at least it sounds like looks like he did, but either way. Substitution, 75th minute. 1-1. Playing forward. That's why Derek Etienne is on. Mihailovic got injured. Oh, God. Jordy got injured. That's why Etienne's on. Jesus Christ. That sucks. Goal kick. Header. Brought down. 77th minute. Blue Jays must be losing to the Cardinals, I guess. (1-1) tie game. Top of the 8th. Okamoto with a double on to Lars Nootbaar. Vladdy scored. '77th minute. Final 12 to go. Chip, headed away. Brought down. Out for a throw. Brought down. Shallowy, cross, headed away. Damn it. Why don't you pick that up, Oso? Jesus Christ. Out for a throw. CFC throw. 79th minute. Runner on first, one out, bottom of the 8th for the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's see how this goes. '79th minute. George Springer walked. Cleared away. Okamoto popped out to Burleson. Okay. Varsho, ball. Perea, shot. It's out for a throw-in. Three balls on Varsho. Ernie Clement up next to hit. Playing forward. Foul ball. Lorea blocked away. Ball crossed in, caught. 10 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Foul ball by Varsho. '81st minute. Varsho walked. Let's go. 2 on, 1 out, first and second. Ernie Clement up next. A hit scores a run. And the Blue Jays will have the lead. Playing forward. Horrible pass by Oso there. 22.6% win probability at 11 to an 11.9. 65.5 on a draw. One. 1-1. Second half. Davis Schneider up next. If Clement gets on. Ernie Clement. Throw in. Header. Coelho. No, I have no Swedish blood. And it's only one S. But I have no Swedish blood, no. I may be very much of a loudmouth, and I may think very highly of myself like Zlatan, but I have no Swedish blood. I mean, I do have German blood, and I do have Irish blood, so that might be what does it there. That might be what's doing it. I don't know. Definitely not the Italian blood or the native blood, but shot, punched away. Zimmerman, oh boy. As far as I know, nothing bad happened. Playing forward. Sloppy. Well, we didn't allow a goal. I don't think I'm that behind. Shot. Well, when all you know is Zlatan. Well, when all I know is Zlatan, you know. Or Zlatan's just Zlatan. I don't know. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. Got ball. Bailed out by Gavrin. Yeah. '84th minute. Playing forward. Ball crossed in. Punched. Gilman clears. What are we doing? What are we doing? Playing forward. Ball won by Graceffo on Clement. 85th minute. Can we see the Jays score a run before this game ends, please? Hit scores a run for the Blue Jays. Keeping an eye on that game as well. This is a day that I don't want St. Louis to win. Well, against the Blue Jays for the next 3 days, I do not want the Cardinals to win. If it was anybody else, ball 2, and that was out of the zone, so don't ABS. An ABS challenge wouldn't work. 2 subs, 3 subs for NYCFC. No way. Looks like 1 to the south. Looks like all that's going south too. Okay, I think we're fine. Mitja Ilinic and Reed on for NYCFC. 86th minute. 3-1 count. A sac fly would score a run by Davis Schneider if there's a walk here. And Malik Henry is on. Let's go. Speaking of Malik, there we go. 1-1. If Clement walks, sac fly scores a run. Throw in for Toronto. Malik Henry is on. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Those are my thoughts. Aldis for Scoomther. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Throw in. Ernie Clement Wolff. Let's go. Bases loaded, 1 out. Let's go. Sack fly leads the game. Ball crossed in. Etienne Jr. crosses in. Header. Brought down. Henry loses the ball. Larrea's the only one back, or at least close to the back. Graceffo walks Clement. David Schneider up next. Sack fly leads the game for the Blue Jays. 1-1 tie with 2 out. All they need is a sack fly, and they'll lead. 88th minute. TFC pushing for a winning goal. 87th minute. Playing forward. Doesn't look like NYC may win. It looks like a draw or Toronto. I mean, of course. Tobias time, of course. Right down the middle to Arias. It's Luis Arias for Davis Schneider. Oh, no. I don't know if we should have done that. 88th minute. Looks to me like it's going to be a draw, but then again, Toronto might lose it late like they normally do. In play runs. Let's go. Luis Arias gets a hit. That's going to score 1. Will it score 2? He's going to try. 1-3 Blue Jays. Got insurance run 2. Offside. 88th minute. Blue Jays lead the Cardinals 3-1. Luis Arias RBI single. 2 RBI singles. Springer and Varsho score on the ground ball to Newt Bar. 3-1 Blue Jays. 2 on, 1 out. Valenzuela up next. Gavrin plays the ball over the top. 89th minute. Etienne Jr. The Jays are still 8 under 500, but still pretty close. I won't say pretty close, but close to the wild card. Not out of it, but we'll see. Playing forward, Ilinich. Blocked through over the bar, 90th minute. High and wide. 90th minute. How many stoppage time minutes are we going to get? Will there be a late winner by either team? 5 minutes. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Another foul ball by Valenzuela. 91st minute. 5 minutes of stoppage time, minimum, of course. Throw in. Brought down. Out for a throw, NYCFC. Hits it to first. Fielder's choice. Fielder's choice, first and third, 2 out. Jays lead 3-1. Hola. Saludos. 1-1. Esta noche. It was a double play, actually. Brendan Valenzuela double play. Weatherholt to Mason Wynn to Alec Burleson. 3-1 Blue Jays. Varland, you better shut this one down. Well, hold on. Let me see. They haven't used Varland. All right, then. Bring him on. 92 minutes. 1-1. Goal kick. Double play. Blue Jays lead the game. 92 minutes. Playing forward. Out for a throw. Throwing forward. Brought down. Osorio chips it through. Ball crossed in. Headed away. Larea heads it. Stolen by NYCFC. You got to be better than that. That was fast. FIFA back down. Gladly. I'm happy about it. 93rd minute. NYCFC playing forward. Toronto, I won't say has looked better in the second half, but they've looked like they've come close. They've come closer than NYCFC, I think. Varland. Newt Bar, Wynn, and Church. How are Philadelphia and Atlanta United so bad this season? Atlanta's been bad for a while. Philly, they fell off hard. Sort of the same thing that happened with the St. Louis City in their second season. They finished top of the West. Bradley Carnell was coaching that team. The second season was a lot worse. They fell off a cliff in that second season. Bradley Carnell somehow, well, they were the Shield winners last year. That's more than decent. That was amazing. Shot save. Rebound. Wide. Corner. 94th minute. I might stay live until the Jays win the game. And why not? Shallowy shot. Close. Corner. 94th minute, Coelho to take the corner. 1-1 count on Newt Bar. Jays lead 3-1. '94th minute. Ball crossed in. Header over the bar. And Newt Bar grounded out for the first out. 2 outs to go. 1 out on the Cardinals. Ground out by Newt Bar. Mason Wynn up next. Honestly, yeah. But they still held on to finish first in the West. And then the playoffs were bad. I wouldn't say Philly did the same thing, but I'd have to. But you're right. And it's full time. A 1-1 draw. A 1-1 draw. We'll take it. Honestly, fair. I can live with that. 1-1 or 1-2 on win. We'll take the 1-1 draw. That's honestly better than I expected, even if we nearly blew it. Draw FC. 1-2 on Mason Wynn. We'll finish the. You know what? We'll finish the Jays game, and then I'll leave. Canada, Jamaica tomorrow. U20, and the St. Louis game, and the St. Louis game. In play, no out. Mason Wynn gets a hit. One on, 2 out. Mason Wynn with a single. Nathan Church at bat against Louis Varland. Fermin will be the final. Well, if it's a double play, I guess not. But possibly Fermin on deck to be the last out if this is not a double play. Hope DC beat Nashville tomorrow. Ball 1-0 on Varland. Varland's perfect on save opportunities, isn't he? Let's see if it changes. The committee, Louis Varland. 2-1 count. Season started late February. Tomorrow it's August. 3 wins. It's torture. I agree. At least the Jays, well, at least TFC aren't as bad as the Jays, or disappointing as the Jays. Block, swing, and strike on Church on the knuckle curve, 2-2. Gavin looked sharp when he needed to once again. I agree. TFC looked close to scoring more than NYCFC late in that second half, I have to say. I mean, I'll accept it. And foul ball by Church. 2-2 count. Fouls off the knuckle curve. Foul ball. Church gets to the four-seam fastball and fouls it off. I agree with that. I do agree with that. So 2-2 count. Hit. High in the air. It's going to fly. Is it caught? Yes, it is. In play outs. And that's 2 out. 1 out to go. Nathan Church flies out to Clement. No. Straw. He flew out to Straw. And it's Fermin to finish it off. Possibly. Church flies out. Fermin is up at bat. Varlin got 2 outs. Ground out. Got him. Game over. Blue Jays win. 3-1. Blue Jays win. Ground out by Fermin. And the Blue Jays win. There we go. With that being said, I couldn't leave you hanging. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Once you subscribe, send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Hit that hype button to put this up in the algorithm. Hit that join button. Become a member. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I'll see you within the hour for the review of this match. And TFC drew. We'll accept it, I guess. With that being said, I'll see you later. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. Oh, Canada game tomorrow. Canada U20 versus Jamaica U20 live RSR. And St. Louis versus RSL tomorrow. Live RSR. Leagues Cup prediction on Sunday. RSR. Leagues Cup prediction video. And the Caribbean Cup prediction video on Monday. And then Tuesday, we'll talk about that later. I'm running. I'm out. Peace.